Growing up, I was a big fan of the sports games. I was really into SmackDown vs. Raw, Tony Hawk, Tekken, that kind of stuff. But I think most people would agree in saying that sport games, your average FIFA, NHL, Top Spin, is that still a thing, Top Spin? Those kind of games, they aren't as good as they used to be. And it's not because like the developers have suddenly forgotten how to make games more fun. It's just that there is so much fluff around the games that ruins it, to the point where it's way too hard to ignore, even if you want to just focus on the gameplay. For example, the yearly release schedule is harder and harder every year to adhere to, because video games are getting bigger, and even if you're just doing a copy-paste job of the last game with a few minor improvements, that is still enough for plenty of technical issues, bugs to pop up. Plus, of course, there is the fact that every game, even if it comes out at full price, you're going to have season passes, DLCs, cosmetics, all that kind of shit that back in the day would have just been unlockables, and that's lame. But I don't want to just complain here, okay? I'm not saying this for the sake of being lame. I just want to have a different perspective on what sports games used to be like before my time, before current time. Just to see if maybe I'm giving for granted stuff that is more modern. And I'm going to do that starting off with boxing for the Atari 2600. Ooh. Okay, this is a low-res cartridge, maybe not the most inviting thing, but this was a game that came out in 2002. The collection, not the boxing game itself. The cover itself, okay, there you go. The cover itself, not my favorite. I've played Atari 2600 games in the past in this channel. There have been some marvelous covers. This isn't one of them. This one is not the worst, but also the black and white for the characters and the ugly brown of the gloves doesn't go well with the rainbow and the outlines and the flat tone that are going for. Let's see if maybe there is some better illustrations in the instruction manuals, just so maybe I can get a better idea of how I'm supposed to play also, because of course this is an Atari 2600 game, but back in the day, because you had just the joystick and the button, the developer said to get really creative as to how you do things. And sometimes that would mean getting really cryptic. Another game by Bob Whitehead. This is the third one I've played from him. Very prolific developer for Activision back when they used to be a respectable company, which was 45 years ago apparently. Oh my lord. Okay, here is the thing. I haven't played this game before, but I have seen it, and I have seen that of course you can punch with both your hands, and there is no mention in this manual here on how to pick which hand you wanna use to punch. That's a bit weird. By the way, I don't know if you guys have noticed, I've increased the resolution of the emulation. I have changed mic. Hopefully the viewing experience should be better because of that, but let's not waste any more time. Alright, these pixels look so crisp now. The triangle right now is changing colors. I forgot what this is in reference to. I think it's automatic. The closer a fist is to his face and the higher the probability is going to use it. That is a surprisingly novel auto-aim in a way. Surprisingly I'm winning. I wasn't expecting that. I think you can change the difficulty if you press like L1. One you notice is just to have multiplayer probably. The CPU is very jittery. I don't know if this is intentional or not. Oh, okay, it's a bit more competitive also. I think I clicked something that made it more difficult, because before it wasn't. Okay, like technically you're just supposed to wait until the end of the round, and whilst the higher score wins, of course, but you can also knock your opponent out if somehow you get 100 points, which is maybe a bit excessive of a demand for a 2 minutes round, but still. I really like the way the hands are animated. The graphics are very simple, you know, monochromatic characters and a very simple illustration of the ring. Sometimes Atari 2600 games can be stylized to the point where it's a bit excessive, like it almost comes across like a child drew it. Sometimes it's more like this, where it's really well done given the simple hardware limitations. Oh, I'm getting my ass kicked, what the heck. Should have been more careful there. I lost. Oh, that sucks. But hey, you know, when you have someone you can play this with in multiplayer, probably a much better time. Ice hockey, that's right. I used to play ice hockey when I was a kid. But it wasn't ice hockey, it was just like regular hockey. Not with the blades on your feet, you just had the rollers. Good cover. Again, not my favorite of the bunch, of the ones I've seen in these few videos here. But it's good. I like the movement of the stick and the guy in front and center. The background, maybe I would have used a different color. Maybe I would have given the two guys in the middle a different color also. But overall, not bad. Let's see the manual. Okay, this is maybe a bit too complex for its own sake. Like they are talking about here the fact that there is 32 different ways you can hit the puck, which I am sure has taken a lot of time to program by this guy, Alan Miller. Not his first game that I've played again in the collection. I don't remember which one he made otherwise, but he has a nice haircut. I think back in the day, if you were balding and this haircut was socially acceptable, you were better off. Nowadays, I think people just shave to the side to take away from the fact that the top is thinning, which I don't think is as effective. I think this haircut is more useful in keeping appearances, I guess. That's not a good signature though. Alan Miller, you're a dashing man, but that signature just isn't up to par. Alright, I say we test this one out. Okay, I do not like the graphics. I haven't complained a whole lot about any of the games I've played in terms of appearance, or at least I wasn't too critical, unless it was straight up a nice train, like in the case of Enduro. But this one looks really not pleasing. Something about it is very... I was talking about like stuff drawn by a child. I don't know if this is gonna make it to the edit because it was just kind of rambling, but talked about some of the Atari 2600 art in the sprite work to be made by like a child. This came across as that. Even the animation of the eating the puck isn't particularly good. At least I can tell what's going on, but I don't like how much of the screen isn't being used. The rules are fairly simple. I'm getting my ass kicked, oh my god. But yeah, the rules are very simple. The physics of the puck are responsive. The hitbox of catching the puck, surprisingly responsive. As I said, depending on where you move the stick, the puck is going to move in a different direction, which is very useful for a game like this. I mean, okay, the graphics are ugly, but the game is surprisingly very functional. I'm getting my ass kicked, but that's really nothing new. I am really bad at video games. I'm sure if you watched enough of my gameplay videos, that will be clear enough. The CPU is, of course, it's never gonna be the most complex thing in the world, but for what it has to do, I have no complaints. It's certainly playing better than I am, so there is that. Oh fuck, I'm not gonna win for sure, but I do at least wanna get something done here. If there was more players on screen, maybe it would have been too chaotic, I get it. I think for the limitations of the Atari 2600, this is... Oh! Alright, I didn't know this was a thing. Okay, I'm gonna take a look at this one later. I wonder what triggered the reward there. Just getting 4 points specifically seems a bit weird. Either way. Let's get this done. 5 points, at least 5 points I need. Come on. Oh no, too far on the left. The movement is a bit jittery. This isn't as smooth as certain other Atari 2600 games that I've played so far, but it's smooth enough that I can concede. There is an extra mode where you can play the same game but at a faster speed, at least according to the manual. Or maybe the CPU is just a lot more annoying. We will have to see about that. Let's try it out. The pack is moving faster for sure. Fuck! You have to be really careful about the movement of the pack, because you're gonna move in a certain direction and you have to stop for like 1 millisecond to just get it in the wherever you need it to be. I don't think the CPU was particularly programmed for this turbo mode, because they take a bit to make their actions even when like they're literally in front of the goal. The game works where you can control the guy that is the closest to the pack, but I wanted to see if like you could change it manually for whatever reason. I don't think you can. It's a bit annoying, but like what could you possibly do from such a disadvantageous position, right? It's a nitpick, okay? This game is good. This game is good. If I had someone to play it right now, that would make me like it a lot more, I'm sure. But even in the single player experience, this is solid. This, other than the graphics being kinda very ugly, I don't have complaints. Guess I'm just gonna move on to the last game of this video. I'm just gonna play free, if you don't mind. But first, right, I wanna see the commercial. Maybe I have to select the game itself. And it's gonna be... Ah, there you go. Yes, I was right. Oh, these are old people. Oh, Lord. This is really cool, though. The unlockable commercials. There is so much content in here. The licensed music, the manuals, the nice presentation, the commercials apparently are unlockable. This is really, really nice. I'm glad that I actually chose to play the Activision Anthology rather than just emulating the games on Stella, because this adds so much to the experience. Anyway, for my last game, I want to play the Activision Decathlon. This is a very, very ambitious game, I'm gonna tell you right away. I have played it for a bit, I'm not gonna pretend that this is new to me, but it's a very ambitious game in a lot of ways. Except for the cover, this one is a lot cheaper. I talked in my previous video, or maybe the video before that, about how some of the uglier covers had this very cheap look where they looked where it just seemed like someone traced over real life photographs. I'm not saying that this is necessarily the case, I'm just saying that this is what it comes across as, not accusing anyone, just well, I am accusing the artist of not doing a great job here, I suppose, but nothing more than that. In the back of the box you can already see a ton of different minigames, which for an Atari 2600 cartridge, this is a massive amount of content. I don't think outside of Pitfall there was a game that was as beefy as this one. Maybe Yar's Revenge, but I don't think this one is made by Activision. And I do want to play it one of these days. Maybe if there is another collection that includes the other Atari classics, I would definitely check it out. Either way, if you look at the manual, David Crane. Okay, this is another name that I have heard from somewhere. And he has created Pitfall, which makes sense because both games have a lot of effort put into them. He also has made Fishing Derby, which I quite liked. I haven't played Dragster, but I know it because it's the game where that fat guy faked the world record and kind of became a lol cow. But other than that, I haven't played it. Alright, let's not waste any more time. I wanna see if I can beat my record. And I'm gonna give you a warning here. There is going to be a lot of noise coming from my controller because for this game you need to do a lot of to get a good score, just in case you needed a warning. But yes, before that, I want to talk about how good the graphics are. You got the little guy who is not just a single color, he's got the hair, the shirt, the pants, the little shadow outline underneath. Then you have the sunset in the background with all these colors and the people in the crowd. And everything looks exactly as it could be. And the running animation is nice, And the torch flame animation is something that I didn't have to do, but I did it anyway. That's really respectable. But yes, let's start actually playing. It's not making any noise. I was expecting. Okay, see, when you want to get good, you have to do this. Okay, well, I was thinking maybe I had to jump at the very last second because there is a challenge that is just like running. Okay, this one, the long jump. Yes, that's one I was talking about. Okay, not great. I've done better in the past when I tried this. Unfortunately, there is no record being saved. Wait, what? Oh, I pressed I pressed R1 by mistake. Oh, R1 allows you to change the game's manual. That's I didn't know that. Okay, I suppose I'm gonna try some of the mini games that I didn't try myself, so you have a sense of novelty for the both of us. Oh, oh my god! Oh, you can see it, but like my hand is very red and the skin on like the palm is coming off. Oh no! This game was not meant to be played on anything but the stick of the Atari 2600, which I'm fairly sure was a lot softer to the touch. As I was saying, unless you just want to rotate it like this, but like that's not the way you're supposed to play. You're just going to play like shit. It's not getting you a lot of points. And I care about the points because the points will allow me to unlock the commercials, which I do wanna see. I was meaning for this gameplay to go out longer than it was supposed to, but like I'm literally like hurting right now. Oh my lord, this game is painful. Ow, fuck. Regardless, I hope you guys had some fun watching me torture myself. Well, not torture myself. I mean, the first two games they didn't cause me any physical or mental anguish. Just this one, and just on like on a physical level. I do respect the gameplay a lot, even if I couldn't enjoy it because I lacked the original hardware. Either way, yes, thank you for watching. See you next time. I will be actually doing something different this time around. Have a good day. Arrivederci.